welcome back. I'm Sheree and this is my Flosstube channel, Little Lavender Stitch, and this is Flosstube number 11. Today is Saturday the 3rd of January 2026. Happy New Year and welcome back to another year of stitching. I hope everyone had a lovely Christmas and a fun New Year. As usual, we didn't really do much for New Year's. We never really do now. So I actually spent my New Year's cross stitching. So that was fun. I hope everyone had a lovely Christmas. We did. We went away for a few days down to my parents' house and we had a lovely time down there, celebrating with family. And everyone got very spoiled, which was great. So first of all, I just want to say thank you to all my new followers. I've had quite a lot of new followers over the last, from the last video. So thank you and welcome. So I thought I'd reintroduce myself since I had a lot of new followers. So I'm Sheree. I am 49 years old. Yes, I turned the big 50 this year. Not to the end of the year, so I've still got another year, which is great. I'm married. We have been married, we'll be married 14 years in April. And I have two kids. I have a daughter who's 25 and a son who is 11. And we live in a country town in New South Wales, Australia. Stitching wise, I've been stitching since, I can't even remember, a very long time. But I think I started back up again in like 2017. I think that was my first project, like big project that I started again. Before that, I used to do like samplers and little projects for people like my grandmother and things. But I think last year was the first year that I really got right into all the big projects. And it was my new year of all new starts. So I have quite a lot now. But I've been cross-stitching for a long time. And I always change things up and change my stitching, the way I stitch and everything like that. And I got right into Flosstube and started watching a lot of Flosstubes, which is how I was enabled to do a lot of the new starts that I started last year. But I'll go through all them soon. So yeah, that's a bit about me. So welcome. Thank you very much for joining me. So into my stitching. So this year I have set a few plans up for myself, for my stitching. I am taking into 2026 12 projects, 12 full coverage projects. So I only stitch now on full coverage. So I've got 12 full coverage projects that I'm taking into 2026. And it's going to be the year of doing whatever I want, whenever I want. So I used to play a lot of like stitching games and challenges and things like that. Sorry. I've stopped all that this year. I'm just going to stitch what I want when I want. I have added all my projects into a spinning wheel, which I'll put a photo up here. And basically I'll spin the wheel, whatever it lands on, I'll stitch 500 stitches on that project, then spin it again for the next 500. The only real goal I have this year is one project I want to try and get finished. So, which I'll show you when I go through all my whips. So really that's basically it for 2026. I'm not setting myself any other goals because I don't ever actually achieve those goals. So that's it. The only other thing is no new charts, not starting anything else, not buying any more fabric because I have plenty. And that's it. So not huge goals, but I just want to get stitches into all my whips, all 12 of my whips. So let's get started. So since my last video, I have worked on a total of 11 projects, and I really started like the 500 stitches at the end of last year, 3 days ago. So I really started just then. I just picked up a whip, stitched 500 stitches in it. So I've worked on a total of 11 projects since my last video, which was my whip video. So that showed you all my projects that I had. but I've also started 3 new starts. Now these were my last new starts that I was starting, and that is it to tide me over for the 12 projects that I've got for this year. Excuse me. So let's get into it. So the first one that I stitched on, before I do that, all my projects are stitched on 25 count even weave easy grit, 1/1 full cross, and I use DMC for all of my projects, and I stitch from a master set of DMC threads, which I have every single colour, and I use that master set for every single project. So the first one that I stitched on was, and I'll put up a picture of what it will look like. The first one I stitched on was a Dragon Race into the Night. Now this is Rose Carn, and it is a, sorry, all my projects are falling apart. Rose Carn, charted by Pain Free Crafts. This is the Pain Free Crafts version. I always have trouble saying Pain Free Crafts. So this one I got a total of 612 stitches put into it for a total of 2.14%. And this is where I'm at now. So this one I think has had a total of, actually I've written them all down, 3 pages completed on this one. And I worked just into all this blue up here. This will be page 4. So that's 3 pages total, and that's going into page 4. So what I've actually done is I've actually written down all my like starting stitches for 2026. So this one started in 2026 at 11,499 stitches. As I said, 3 pages completed for 2.14%. And I added 612 stitches just up into here. So that's Dragon Race into the Night. I love this one, but I'd love to get some more of it here because I want to see some dragons. Now I'm just going to throw them on the floor for now. Right, so my next one that I stitched on is Bold Eagle. Now this is from an Etsy store by a person called X Stitch by Stitch. And to start off 2026, I had a total of 3,620 stitches completed on it at 3.69%. No page finishes on this one yet. And I've got a total, I should have added those up because I've worked on this one twice. Bear with me. Plus a total of 1,032 stitches I completed on this one. And as I said, bring it up to 4.21%. And there it is so far. Sorry, there's a bit of a shadow. Probably the way I've got my light setting now. But again, yeah, just all greys. Only this little bit here to go to finish the page, and that little bit there. And I said I was actually looking at it this morning because I finished off the other 500 stitches this morning. This next page will have a bit more into it. I think there's like a tree coming up in here and a little bit of the eagle's beak. So I need to get to page 2. So that's Bold Eagle. Okay. Next one. Next one's not in a frame. I actually took all my projects out of frames to see how they go. So this one is A Beautiful Place. Etta Jose Rosa, I think it is. Charted by Stitch is So Beautiful. Now, at the beginning of 2026, I had a total of 9,075 stitches completed on this one. I've had 2 page finishes. Sorry, I've got a tickle in my throat. And a total of 8.48% in total. And on the last stitchy session I had on this one, I got a total of 502 2 stitches completed on this one, and this is what it looks like now. Hopefully you can see that. So as I've said before, the Stitch is So Beautiful pages are only like tiny, which is great. So this is the 3rd page that I'm working on now. So I'm just working all into here. And I don't think I mentioned before, but I stitch all mine by page, and I stitch them all by colour completion. So that is that one. I won't put that one on the floor. Right, the next one is my largest project, and this one is World of Disney. It has been going since 2018, I think. It's my biggest project I've got. I think I've got that down. I do have hanging threads here, so bear with me. So at the start of 2026, I had a total of 33,951 stitches and 7 pages completed for 4.72%. And I got a total of 501 stitches added into it. And this is where I'm up to. Again, colour completion by page. So slowly getting there. And again, I think I've decided to go just acrossways and just keep going, because this border takes forever. So if I get the top border done, then it'll be great. So yeah, this is like a massive one. It's huge. It's my biggest project. I think it's 999 stitches wide by 700 and something stitches. Okay, next one. Another one that's not in the frame. So this is I call this one my mistake one because it's got a lot of mistakes on it. This one is Mini Woodland Santa by Donna Gelsinger, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And I've changed the stitching method on this so many times, it's not funny. But at the beginning of 2026, I had a total of 11,798 stitches in it. Now that is not completely accurate, because as I've said before, it was in Pattern Keeper. My thing died, so I changed to Markup RXP. And it's 13.73%. Now it's saying 0 pages completed because when I show you this, you'll see why. I started Extreme Cross Country, then I went to completing row by row. Now I've gone back to colour completion by page. So this one here is the first page that I'm completing. And as I said, you can't really tell that there's mistakes unless you know the pattern. But yeah, I've gone back to colour completion by page just to see if it'll get any more progress on it, because I really want to get to, this is Santa standing here, and that's his toys here. So I really want to get some more completion on that one. But yeah, as you can see, I started doing it cross country, and then I just went back to my comfortable way of stitching colour completion by page. So that's what I'm going to be working on for most of my projects now. I think it just feels better for me. So I got a total of 506 stitches in that session for Mini Woodland Santa, and it's at 13.73%. Right, so my next one's a pretty new one. I think I started this one in September or October 2025. And this one is Country Chickens, charted by Stitch is So Beautiful. Make sure I've got this up the right way. At the start of 2026, I had a total of 2,811 stitches, 2.52%. And in my last stitching session, I completed a page. So I've got 1 page finish, which is great. But in my last session, I did 529 stitches. So that was a page finished and a little bit more. And this is what it looks like now. So that's the size of a Stitch Is So Beautiful page compared to like a Heaven and Earth page. Thank goodness, they're only tiny. So yeah, so I'm going over here. And as I said, this one is like in strips. So there's a picture there, then there's a picture there. You'll see it in the photo that I added onto it. So I'm doing these ones going down in the row. So I'll complete that whole section. So this is the second page to that section, and then it finishes here, and then there's a gap and the next one starts. So yeah, I was very happy to get that page finished. Although looking at the photo, no, I thought I'd missed a stitch, but I think it's just the colour. So that's the top of the barn. So I'll get some more of that done. And I love this one, it's so cute. All the chickens and the country theme, which is my style. So did I say I got 529 stitches? I think I did. All right, so the next one, so this one that I'm going to show you is my oldest piece. Now I'm sure I started this one in 2017. This was my very first full coverage piece that I'd ever started, never stitched full coverage before until I started this one. And this one is now my 2026, sorry about that, 2026 Focus for a Finish. I think I got 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4.5 pages to go. And this one is called The Gift. This is a pattern that was converted from a painting by a lady named Sandy Lear, and it's on an Australian warhorse. It is in a scroll frame, so I can't show you the whole lot. But I got a total of 600 stitches. Now my challenge for myself for this one is it's going to be my focus or finish, as I said, and I'm going to be stitching on this one every Sunday. It's going to be my Sunday stitch, and for a minimum of 600 stitches. So I worked it out, if I did it a minimum of 600 stitches, I should have it finished before December this year, hopefully. Cross fingers. I really like to get this one finished. I want to get a full coverage one finished soon. So this one I got a total of 600 stitches in it. At the start of 2026, this one had a total of 43,318 stitches completed for 61.14% and 9 page finishes. And this is where I'm at to now. So this one, this is the page I'm working on here, and it's all these like light creamy colours. So there's not a lot to see in that page, but then there's still one page here and then a partial page to finish that row off. But I think if I keep aiming for like the 600 stitches every week, I should be right. I hope. This one is the only one that's not stitched on 25 count. This one's stitched on 18 count Ada. As I said, it was my very first full coverage piece, so I didn't know any different then. And you can see it's got lines and everything in it. I hope it will come out. And I'm stitching this one 2/1 full cross. So this is the only piece that's different to all the other ones. But yeah, it's getting there. And I'm really, really hoping for a finish. So I've got to get that one done. Okay, my next one is one of my absolute favorites, and it is Amy Stewart, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and it is the Amazing Animal Kingdom. And I'm still working on the zebra. So let me just fix this up. So at the start of 2026, I have a total stitch count of 22,519 for 6.01% and 2 page finishes. In the last stitching session, I got a total of 502 stitches completed, and this is where I'm up to. And as you can see, I'm still in that zebra with so much confetti. And this one is just the regular size, regular colours. It's not even max colour. No max colour, still a lot of confetti. So let's hope for a page finish soon on that one. And I'm working this one down into all the different rows, and then I'll go back up the top. But it's still one of my absolute favourites. So yeah, there's that one. All right, what am I up to? All right, so the next three I'm going to show you are all brand new starts. So the first one I'm going to show you is another Amy Stewart. Now, if you've watched a lot of my videos, I always say that I'm a massive Amy Stewart fan. So I have a lot of her projects, and I think I'm taking 1, 2, 3, 4 of her projects into 2026. So this one is a brand new start. And this one, I saw this one and it was beautiful. And then she brought it out into Max Colors. And the Max Color just brought out all the pictures even more. So I had to start this one. So as I said, it's Amy Stewart, charted by Heaven Earth Designs, and it's called The Storyteller's View. So it was my New Year's Day new start, and I did 505 stitches for 0.21%. And that's all I've got so far. Again, I'm just color completing by page. There's a lot of this brown in it. I think there was like over 1,000 something stitches just in that brown, so I've still got a bit to go for the page to come down. But that was my New Year's Day new start for 505 stitches. And it's so cute. There's so much stuff in this picture. Even my husband liked this one. So that was that one. Right. My next new start. There's a lot of people that have started. So we were lucky enough to get the Heaven Earth Designs Stitch Along early. I think it came out on the 27th. I think it was the 28th for us here in Australia. But as soon as I saw it, I had started. But there was a challenge that you had to stitch one page to get the exclusive Amy Stewart chart. And they were lovely enough to give us the Amy Stewart chart without stitching that one page. So then I thought, am I going to stitch this one? But I really, really do like this one. So I'm still going to stitch it. And again, I've only just started it, but I think I'm going to change up my stitching style. So this one is the Heaven and Earth Design Stitch Along. This is a fairy tale. I have done a total of 1,018 stitches in it so far for 1.71%. It's not a big piece, it's only small. It's like the cropped version of it. I think his name is Dragon Muse. So there is a full version of this one, the fairy tale. But this is only a cropped version of it for the stitch along. But I still loved it. So, and the colours coming out are actually different to what I thought they were in the actual mock-up. So I'm quite liking it so far. So yeah, so this is fairy tale. As I said, 1,018 stitches so far in it. And there is my start. So as I said, people that watched, I think her name's Max Colour Stitcher, and the Max Colour Stitcher, she does all her stitches by row, typewriter method I think it's called. And I thought, oh, I might start this. Now that I don't have to do a full page to get the Amy Stewart chart, I thought, oh, I might do a row, because if you can actually see that to there, that's how wide it is. And now I'm going to go back to colour completion by page, because it's just, yeah, I don't feel comfortable completing it like that. So I'm in an area, do I completely go over there or do I just go down? So this is going to change the stitching style again. And I have park threads, and I don't like park threads, but I didn't want to bring it. But I'm looking at the back now, and it's already like chockers full of thread. So I'm going to go back to my usual colour completion by page. But that is the start of my fairy tale. And as I said, the colours, I don't know why, they just look different than what's on the picture. But a good different. But like, I actually quite like it. So, but yeah, I'm going to go back to colour completion by page for that one. Now my last one is another new start, and as I just said, they released the Amy Stewart exclusive chart for the stitch along early, and we got that the same day that they released, so I think it was the 28th here in Australia. They released the exclusive Amy Stewart chart, and I think I said last year I wasn't buying anything this year. I wasn't buying fabric or anything like that, so I sneakily made sure I had enough fabric last year to make sure that I could stitch this chart. So I got the Storyteller's View and this one out of the same piece of fabric. So I bought a meter of it and I got both charts out of that one piece of fabric, which is great because I'm not allowed to buy anything this year. So this one is called A Sanctuary of Stitching, and so many people like, it's beautiful, and probably a lot of people have seen it. So, but I decided to start this. This was my New Year's Eve new start. As I said, we don't celebrate New Year's Eve. We sort of like, yep, we stayed till midnight, we watched the fireworks on TV, and then that was it. So I decided to sit there and stitch. So this one got a total of 608 stitches done on it for 0.19%. And this is where I'm up to now. So, and my usual style, colour completion by page. Well, I think that's what I was doing. No, I think I was picking a symbol, stitching it out, picking a symbol, stitching it out. But I'm going back to my normal colour completion by page. So, but that's my start so far on it. And, oh, I just love this piece. And it's got so much detail in the actual pattern itself. Like, you look at the picture and there's got like, the stitching shelf that I'm doing is actually in this one. She's got a Heaven Earth Designs little book on the floor. There's like a little iPad, and it's just really cute. So yeah, so that's my New Year's Eve new start for 608 stitches. So those three added into my total brings me to a total of 12 stitches. Stitching shelf is also in it as well. I just haven't stitched on it yet. That's my stitching today. So yeah, so I've actually done quite a bit. As I said, I'm just going to spin a wheel, pick that pattern and stitch 500 stitches on it, except for the gift. That's going to be my stitching every Sunday till I get to at least 600 stitches, or even more if possible, because I want to try to get it finished as fast as possible. I think I did add it to the wheel as well, so if it comes up during the week, I'll just stitch another 500 stitches on it. That way I'll get finished faster. But I think that's it. I go back to work on Wednesday, so I've only got a few more days left of holidays left to go. We haven't done much these like holidays that I've been off. As I said, I went to my parents' house for a few days. And then when we came home, we did our usual New Year's big massive cleanup and move around of the house. So we moved around the whole entire lounge room, and it takes like a whole day just to move that around, but we gave it a really good clean, and then New Year's Day we just finished off the little bits and pieces. So the house was nice and fresh and clean, ready for the new year. As I said, I go back to work on Wednesday, so I've still got a few more days to go. And that's basically it. Not much else happening. There's nothing really big. Oh, it is my son's last year of primary school this year. So, and then he starts high school next year. So that'll be a big thing at the end of the year. As I said, I turned the big 50 at the end of the year as well. And we're also planning a big trip that we're going to go on soon too. But more about that later. So that's about it for me today. Again, thank you so much for everyone for watching, and for all my new subscribers. There was quite a few that have come through. So yeah, thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your weekend, and happy stitching for 2026, and we'll see you next time. Bye.